You're watching CN2 News, your number one source for award-winning hometown coverage.
Well, welcome to this special edition of CN2 News from right here at the Novant Health BMX Supercross track.
So exciting. We want you to take a look at this. This is quite the view. The city of Rock Hill has done a fantastic job getting this track ready for its world debut. We are waving to our CN2 drone.
I'm calling it Sky News 2.
I like it.
It's got a good sound to it. Well, hey, the 2017 BMX World Championships are now officially underway. Today, Tuesday, the first day of racing.
Hello, I'm Laura Bree Monday, and we're so glad to be here.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Lucas McFadden. BMX's biggest event is back in the USA after 16 years.
In fact, this is the largest international sporting event in South Carolina history. It's really unbelievable.
Well, let's take a look at these quick BMX fast facts. Second only to the Olympics, the World Championships will feature not only Olympians, but other elite athletes and amateurs.
There are 3,700 riders from 48 countries. This week, Rock Hill will welcome at least 20,000 spectators.
Yeah, and if you want a sense of the number of competitors, check out Team USA. More than 1,000 riders competing. This is their official team picture.
Rock Hill found out it would host the 2017 BMX World Championships back in June of 2014.
Yeah, now keep in mind the course behind us didn't officially open until later that summer in August of 2014. So city leaders have spent the last 3 years getting ready for this week.
One reason why Rock Hill scored the World Championship has to do with our track. Very few Olympic caliber BMX Supercross tracks in the U.S. exist. It's also the only first one to be open to the public.
Yeah, our track was actually modeled after the 2008 Beijing Olympic track, a track designed for speed. Now, the unique state-of-the-art surface makes for a smooth and dust-free racing in all weather conditions, day or night.
The dirt athletes are riding on costs anywhere from $800 to $1,000 per truckload. The perfect formula took 2 years to create. The man behind that formula, known as Dr. Dirt, says it is even water resistant.
During our first World Cup, we had a tropical storm come through, and it rained the whole 4 days they were here, and they never missed a beat. It actually puddles, and we use brooms and we push it off.
Dr. Dirt says they touch up the track on a daily basis, making adjustments to the formula as humidity or heat comes into play.
The same mixture that is on these tracks is also on some of the local softball and baseball diamonds.
While BMX racing has been a popular sport for decades here in the Tri-County, well, we are still learning a little bit about it.
So let's bring in CN2 sports reporter James Lambert, who's giving us a quick lesson about BMX racing.
Yeah, and James, actually later in the newscast, you're going to sit down with Mike King, a BMX Hall of Famer, but right now you're kind of giving us an insider look.
Yeah, absolutely. So when the competition starts, there are 3 races for each athlete. 8 riders can race at one time. Then the competition goes to single elimination, ultimately looking for the fastest riders, who will then compete in a bracket-style format when the winners are determined.
And speaking of those competitors, you actually caught up with a lot of them and their families. They really all have such interesting stories.
They really do. This week, we'll introduce you to some of those families, the Bynans and the Masons, who moved to the Carolinas specifically for this track and these championships. Then you will meet a family from New Jersey, 8-year-old Mia Custer and her dad Greg, who both are competing. Mia will be competing on Wednesday, while her dad Greg will race on Friday.
Yeah, they're really making it a family affair, that's for sure.
All right, James, thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much. Well, hey, Rock Hill is known as a sports tourism city, investing in its various parks and venues, like right here at the Outdoor Center at the Riverwalk, to bring top-notch events.
In fact, Rock Hill takes the slogan, "Competition lives here," to heart. The Rock Hill Sports Commission says the economic impact of just the BMX World Championships estimated to be around, get this, $13 million.
This is the day we were looking for. It's the day we start racing, and we were glad to bring the world to our doorsteps and show them what Rock Hill was all about.
Well, the last time the championships were held here in the United States dates back to 2001 in Louisville, Kentucky. So Rock Hill really wanted to make this an epic return.
For the month of July, the city of Rock Hill is relaxing its sign ordinance and waiving all permits and fees.
Businesses will be able to place temporary signs promoting the BMX World Championships.
Take a look at this. Sisters Fine American Cuisine, located on Oakland Avenue in Rock Hill. Well, it says it was the first restaurant to take advantage of the new rules for the signs the month of July by posting this sign in front of the restaurant welcoming visitors.
Yeah, owner and chef Chuck Hurst says he's already had customers come in who've seen the information about his sisters on the Caporium BMX app.
The people in Rock Hill to be able to come in here and not be hustled and bustled and sit down and talk to people and stuff. We're We're a family-run business and a family-run restaurant, but we welcome anybody.
Chuck says he's in the process of adding new menu items and is very excited to welcome visitors from all over the world.
To learn more about Sisters menu and hours, you can visit the website on your screen. And for the first time in 29 years, York County Day, which is usually held in Columbia at the South Carolina State House, will actually be held this Wednesday, tomorrow, at the BMX track during the World Championships event.
Yeah, organizers say instead of just talking about sports tourism, they wanted to show state lawmakers in person right here at the BMX World Championships what makes Rock Hill and York County so vital to South Carolina's success.
Again, the BMX track is located here in Rock Hill's Riverwalk neighborhood, a community with a mix of businesses and houses. A handful of homeowners are welcoming our international visitors by literally opening up their front doors, allowing them to stay in their homes for the week.
Yeah, CN2's Renee O'Neill speaking with some of those families. She joins us now at the Riverwalk with how this event is impacting locals and local businesses.
Yeah, that's right, Laura Bree and Lucas. I actually spoke to the owner of the Grapevine, which is just right behind me in front of the Catawba River, and he tells me they've seen some people who are here visiting for the championships, and they expect to see even more as these races continue. And we do know that some homes here in Riverwalk are actually being rented out by visitors through that app Airbnb, and I even called up with some homeowners in Rock Hill who are welcoming racers and their families.
The Kelly family of Rock Hill is staying with relatives while they're without their home for a week.
And within hours, it was booked out.
With a love for hosting guests, Brittany and Michael decided to rent out their home through Airbnb to visitors coming to Rock Hill for the UCI BMX World Championships.
It's an awesome thing, and I'm glad we're able to be a part of that.
Since their home was booked for this week by a family from Alabama, they have seen even more interest for the month of August as more guests plan to rent out their 5-bedroom house.
It doesn't hurt that the money is great. It basically pays the mortgage for you.
Can I just squeeze by you 1 sec?
Down the road at the Veldkamp's house, it's full with 11 guests. Kia Veldkamp just happens to have family in Canada that are also BMX racers, so she decided to open her home to them and their friends for free.
You know, obviously we've got room and love to have them have a place to stay and be comfortable and home.
Other than South Carolina's heat, these families say they are enjoying Old Town and what it has to offer to the cycling community.
We got opening night downtown, ceremony, food trucks and stuff, and all the volunteers there, just super friendly. You know.
Everywhere we go, everyone says, "Oh, are you here for BMX?" So it must be really obvious that we're not locals.
It's been fantastic. I think the kids are getting more rest being able to stay in someone's home. It's just more relaxing.
And as strangers become friends, these families say by opening their doors to people from all over the world shows Southern hospitality at its best.
I think it's really neat to shine as Rock Hill.
Now we're here in the RV park in Riverwalk, which is literally just steps away from the track. As you can see behind me, there are a lot of RVs. In fact, 43 spots for people who are coming out of town who are staying right here in Rock Hill for the championships. I did talk to a family behind me who came from California who actually had a hotel. Then when they heard about this RV park, they switched, and they even have a pool out here for the kids to keep them cool. They are a lot closer to the action. Now, according to city leaders, the rate was $1,000 for the entire event dates, and that did include some event tickets for up to 4 people. For now, we're in Rock Hill. Renee O'Neill, CN2 News.
Pretty interesting and very exciting. Thanks, Renee.
All right, there is so much to see here. We actually parked in the expo area. That's a place where you can shop, meet different creators of different bikes. There is so much to see here.
Yeah, well, as we mentioned earlier, there are competitors from 48 different countries, and when they are here at the BMX track, take a look at their home. This is what city leaders are calling Tent Village.
Each country has its own tent so they can conduct business before training. In fact, Rock Hill officials say they've actually communicated with the FBI about where to place certain countries so there would be no conflict.
Well, Rock Hill is used to a global community. Winthrop University is, of course, proud of its international population here on campus.
There are about 150 international students at Winthrop, so it makes sense that the university is helping out during the BMX championships by providing translators.
Samedi, c'est $15 pour les adultes et je sais.
Those international students helping with everything from ticket information and even more help at the help desk before you head into the track.
CN2 catching up with some students from France who are helping to translate from French to English. There is also one translator who is volunteering with the city as well who speaks Spanish.
These students tell CN2 News it's exciting to be able to meet people from all over the world.
It's nice to have like a contact with French people, which I don't have usually, and it's nice to speak French with people from my home country.
Winthrop leaders say there are 3 student translators from campus who plan to be out at the championships all week, in fact, volunteering.
Well, from translators to other volunteers, the city of Rock Hill says it has more than 700 people who have signed up to help out this week.
CN2's Alexandria Savage introducing us to some of these BMX volunteers as we honor them as our latest CN2 Hometown Heroes.
There are 3,700 riders, the most by 600 than any other world championship in BMX.
We've blown the doors off of any other city or country that's hosted this event.
And there's a very special group of people making it all possible.
We have an overwhelming response for volunteers. The city of Rock Hill really stepped up.
Organizers began their search back in February to find the perfect people to welcome visitors to Rock Hill.
I love here. It's close to everything. And now we are in the map with a world championship.
Man, they make our job real easy. There's lots of man hours to go in to put on this event.
About 700 people stepped up to the plate to cover more than 1,000 shifts, including Mr. and Mrs. Trella, who live just around the corner in the Riverwalk community.
We're going to be checking in the teams, so we wanted to see all these world-class athletes. I thought it would be fun to meet them.
After 28 years of marriage, Mr. Trella says he still enjoys staying active with his wife.
Even at our age, as retired people, we still get out and do some things, and we have some fun.
No matter who they are, volunteers are excited about the opportunity to brag on their city.
We know that the BMX community from around the world is just going to, I think they're going to have their socks knocked off.
And BMX volunteers are sure they'll be able to make that happen, but the perks of an all-week pass to the event doesn't hurt either.
I'm mostly excited about the competition and seeing all the competition.
Their selflessness and eagerness to take part in the largest sporting event to ever hit the area is what makes the BMX volunteers this week's Hometown Heroes. In Rock Hill, Alexandria Savage, CN2 News.
And hey, congratulations to them. A good round of applause.
We are certainly thrilled to be honoring you. 700 volunteers. That's impressive stuff.
Absolutely. Hey, if you plan to come out to see the BMX races, we hope you do. This week, there are some things that you need to be aware of.
So let's start with tickets. A week-long pass will cost you $50 for adults, $12.50 for a daily pass. For children 6 to 17, a week-long pass will run you $12, and that daily ticket is $3. Kids under 5 are free. And on Saturday, July 29th, the last day of racing, Rock Hill wants you to help pack the track, they say. York County residents and their guests will get in free with a valid ID. There'll be an award ceremony followed by fireworks.
Yeah, all of this information and even more information can be found by downloading that BMX app. Just search 2017 BMX Worlds.
Well, let's take a look at our latest Arrow Point Federal Credit Union picture of the day. We love when we get the chance to show off the entire CN2 News team today. A special newscast from the field. It is a team effort, everyone. We want to thank everyone who works in front and behind the scenes, not only on this newscast, but of course every day at CN2 News.
Yeah, if you want to see your photo as our picture of the day, just email it to news@cn2.com, and I have a feeling we'll probably get a lot of pictures of the days from right here at the track.
So exciting, and we will have much more from the BMX track after this.
You know the feeling. I can't find my debit card. Well, no worries, because when you bank with ArrowPoint, you can freeze it till you find it. Now with ArrowPoint checking, you can protect your accounts the easy way with Card Valet. So make the easy switch to ArrowPoint Federal Credit Union now and feel like this, because we're focused on you.
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get more comfort this year with Comfort Zone of the Carolinas and American Standard Air. Financing available and estimates are always free. Choose the air conditioner that homeowners ranked #1 in reliability. Choose Comfort Zone of the Carolinas. ComfortZoneSC.com.
Well, welcome back to this special edition of CN2 News from right here at the 2017 BMX World Championships.
Hot and humid, those are two words that are absolutely safe to use, but the city of Rock Hill doing its best to keep everyone hydrated. And Alexandria Savage, well, you've been working in it all day.
Yes, ma'am. I am definitely feeling the heat. I've gone from glistening to reflective at this point.
But for some folks who are visiting from out of town, out of country, you know, they really have to be challenged a little bit with this weather.
Absolutely. I'm not even used to it. I've lived in the South for quite a while. Many of these riders are not used to this heat, and physicians are urging them to prepare before they get on the track to compete. There have already been a wide range of injuries, from scrapes to life-threatening. A few athletes have been transported to local hospitals and admitted overnight. There were 46 injuries Monday, which was a practice day, and there have been multiple since then. Medical staff are stationed all over the facility, and there are multiple sites where patients can receive care, and there's even a mobile medical unit. Dr. Eric Warren, who is in charge of all the medical staff on site, says they are prepared for just about anything.
We're here anytime there's a rider on the track, providing wonderful care for them. I would just tell the spectators, enjoy the race. It's a beautiful, beautiful environment here. They're gonna have a great time.
Over 50 workers and 3 physicians are here on site. There are ambulances here as well. Athletes and spectator medical units are separate, but Warren says they just want everyone to get world-class care.
And I do want to mention, they're not surprised at injuries. I mean, this is a sport that is going to be that. So it's not anything to do with our track in particular or the event. It's just the mass sheer number of athletes, and it is a dangerous sport.
Absolutely, and they're expecting many more before the week is up.
Yeah, remember we have 3,700 riders, so there's going to be a couple of scraped knees every now and then.
Right, and there's too many medical facilities on site to even count at this point. Sleep, eating right, and hydration are very important. If you're feeling lightheaded or you're feeling any other symptoms, get into the shade so you can enjoy the race.
That's why we're all here.
That's right. Alexandria, thank you very much. And speaking of the heat, get this, there is a major power outage in Lancaster County.
More than 3,300 Duke Energy customers on the east side of the city of Lancaster have actually no power. Duke officials say customers could be without power until 10 p.m. this Tuesday night.
They say a tree took down a couple of poles at a major substation near town. EMS at the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office and many more offices are right now running off generators.
Well, let's move on to tonight's CN2 Digital Dashboard. There are many ways to stay connected during this BMX World Championship. Here are the social media handles you can use when you want to share your experience from here at the track.
You can also follow the action on Twitter, social media, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, the 2017 BMX World's free app can help you simplify everything that you want to learn about the championships.
Things are super well organized. It's going to be a fabulous week. We hope you'll check it out, and we hope you'll stick with us as we head to break and come back after this.
At Wilson's in Winsboro, the cost of buying a new Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep just came down. Wilson's in Winsboro guarantees our bottom line price will always be less.
Because when you want to buy a car or truck, we'll sell you a car or truck, only at Wilson's in Winsboro. You can buy a car from any dealership, but at Wilson's, our bottom line will be less on every Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. That's why our customers drive a few more exits. Because when you want to buy a car or truck, we'll sell you a car or truck, only at Wilson's in Winsboro.
Getting back to the everyday routine. It's the goal of every person who faces cancer. That's why Allison and Chandler turned to Levine Cancer Institute. World-class doctors.
Look at this little sweet one.
The latest clinical trials.
That's sweet.
And even an advanced fertility program. It's the cancer care you demand when you see tiny toes in your future.
This is CN2 News. For those who don't know, Rock Hill is truly a cycling destination. Of course, there is BMX, but get this, when final construction is done of a new cyclocross course here at the Riverwalk, there will actually be 5 permanent facilities for all 5 cycling disciplines in one location.
And this is the only place in the U.S. that can say that. We're talking about BMX, velodrome racing, mountain bike trails, criterium course, that cyclocross course, again, all right here at the Riverwalk.
That kind of momentum did not just happen. It sits on the legs, or pedals in this case, of history. And Rock Hill has a rich history of cycling. CN2's Indira Esquiva joining us now with that story.
The White Home is throwing it back with a look at Rock Hill's rich cycling history. And with all the excitement over these BMX championships, they put a special exhibit together called Rolling Through Rock Hill. Here with me is Lindsay Stuber, who helped put all of this together. Lindsay, how are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Tell me a little bit more about what is going on at this exhibit and what it took to pull it together.
Well, you know, we decided that since Rock Hill is so big into bicycling now that we may as well support, you know, also show Rock Hill that it has a very rich cycling history, you know, from 3 bicycle tracks in the 1870s, one on, we believe, around Johnson Street behind where City Hall is now, and then one actually on Oakland Avenue that had a stand for spectators that could seat, I believe, over 1,000 people. So cycling was huge in Rock Hill in the 1870s.
And how has it grown since then to these BMX World Championships being here today?
Well, unfortunately, biking throughout the United States, you know, with the advent of car and the expansion of the highway system, you know, the bicycling just kind of fell away. And it's really until the 1950s when you see bicycling make a comeback. You know, if you, the typical picture you see in your mind maybe of the paper boy on his route with actually one bike we have here, that's when it started to come back. But it's really not until the 1980s when you have, you know, the BMX starting that you see it. But in Rock Hill, it really didn't come back until the opening of the velodrome out at Riverwalk.
Lindsay, 3 of the bikes here belong to a very special man. Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
Yes, Paul Neal was generously let us borrow a few of his bicycles, one of which was just taken on a trip from Rock Hill to Los Angeles as a celebration or anniversary trip. When Paul was 18, he actually rode his bicycle from, again, Rock Hill to LA. And so we're very privileged to have that bike here, as well as an early BMX bike and another track bike that he has brought us.
Well, I actually got to talk to Paul Neal. I caught up with him and learned more about this fascinating story of a man, his bike, and the sheer determination to achieve a goal against all odds. Take a look at this.
I've been a failure at quite a few things, and I had told my sisters that I thought I could ride across the country, and of course they said there is no way you can do it.
In 1967, a troubled young Paul Neal struggled in school.
I was the president of my class, but I failed the 9th grade, so those don't go together.
But there was one thing he did enjoy.
My mother always said, go ride your bike if I was grumpy, because she knew when I came back I'd be in a good mood.
So when he turned 18, he put a radio on his bicycle and set out to prove to the world he was good at one thing, riding 3,000 miles across the country and encountering along the way adventure after adventure.
Went to the jail in Ela Bend, Arizona, and asked them if I could stay there for the night, and they locked me up.
At times, the journey difficult.
Water became my biggest problem in the desert because I would run out of water.
And then finally, victory. This is Paul Neal delivering a letter from the mayor of Rock Hill to the mayor of Los Angeles.
You only have those windows of opportunity to do something like that.
Since that day, Paul's life has had its share of ups and downs.
I had a drug addiction. I've been clean now for 22 years, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Now, 50 years later, he set out to prove to himself and others he could do it again.
I promised somebody that if I'm alive in 50 years, I would do this trip again, and lo and behold, here I am.
At 68, Paul got back on his bike and retraced his incredible journey, now for the second time, from Rock Hill to Los Angeles.
It links my whole life together.
But this time, he did not have a radio mounted on his bike. Instead, the music was in his head.
I came into town with a knapsack on my shoulder and a pocket full of stories that I just had to tell. You know, I've knocked around a bit and I've had my share of small town glory. It's time to hit the city and that crazy carousel.
What a fascinating person. Well, the exhibit here at the White Home is scheduled all the way through August 5th. Admission is just $5 and it's free to members of Historic Rock Hill. Be sure to come out here and check it out.
Indira, thanks so much. He's certainly got a great voice. Paul, thanks for taking the time to speak with us and sharing your story.
Of course, up-and-coming racers and people who've already made a name for themselves or who are helping to race this week.
After this break, James is back with a BMX Hall of Famer who actually works for the city of Rock Hill. He's going to break down a number of the big races coming up.
I'm Dr. Maxwell of Palmetto Physical Medicine and Chiropractic. Our pain control team combines the effectiveness of chiropractic treatments along with the benefits of a medical doctor and the abilities of a licensed anesthesiologist to administer trigger point injections for muscle spasms and epidural injections for back and leg pain. So if you've been injured in an auto accident, there's only one team of doctors to call.
Palmetto Physical Medicine and Chiropractic.
Palmetto Physical Medicine and Chiropractic.
Palmetto Physical Medicine and Chiropractic.
Our pain control team has got your back.
For the past 25 years, CN2 has been an integral part of our community, providing quality programming and video production services. Each day, CN2's award-winning newscast delivers its viewers all the top local news that matters. Follow CN2 on social media for the latest developing stories, giveaways, and more. And visit cn2.com for exclusive video content. Tune in to your community. Watch CN2.
Welcome back to this special edition of CN2 News. Of course, we are out at the BMX track.
Yeah, today, Tuesday, is the first official day of racing here at the track.
It starts with the challenge races. They will last until noon on Friday, and that features amateur racers, people who are as young as 5 years old.
It's hard to believe. CN2 sports reporter James Lamberts now has more of his in-depth interview with Mike King, who is the BMX coordinator for this championship week.
Each of these countries have done their qualification process. Each country has their own system. Team USA had 4 qualifying races throughout the country, where each race had 8 qualifiers, so we had a total of 62 total for each of the 52 categories that we have in the UCI. Based on the schedule, it'll be broken down into groups. So our first day of competition will be on Tuesday. We'll have just the cruiser bikes, that's 24-inch wheels. Then the next day on Wednesday, we'll have the youngest kids, ages, I believe, 10, 11 and under. Then the following day, we'll have the medium age group kids, I believe 12 through 16. On Friday, we'll go with the bigger kids, the older amateurs, 17 and over. And then, of course, on Saturday night, we'll conclude with our elite and junior riders. Those are the ones that go to the Olympics and are the pro athletes from all over the world.
Just tell me, how long did you BMX and how did you get involved here with the city of Rock Hill?
Well, I started racing back in the mid-'70s, if you can imagine that. I have an older brother who's 5 years older, my brother Eddie. He's also a member of the BMX Hall of Fame. And as a young child, 6 years, I just followed in his footsteps. I idolized my brother. I wanted to be just like him. And I followed him all the way up through all the proficiencies up until I became an expert. And, when I was 18, I turned pro. Actually, 17, I turned pro. And the rest is kind of history.
As a former BMX athlete, are you pumped about this week?
I'm having a hard time sleeping, to be honest. I mean, I was very, very fortunate to be involved in this process. When I moved out here from California and I took on this job, that was one of the first things that we really wanted to do, is we wanted to get a really big event and to have that involvement and to say, let's bring the World Championships to Rock Hill, and let's put Rock Hill on not just the domestic cycling map, let's put it on a global map, and I think we've done that. But it hasn't been here since 2001. I've gone to the previous 4 World Championships. And even when I was at USA Cycling managing the US team, I always had this mindset of, how can we get the World Championships back? And 3.5 years later, we're here.
And we are here indeed, and this place is absolutely packed.
James, this is so exciting. I cannot believe how many racers and families and fans are out here.
Yeah, such an experience. Now, you're holding the official trophy that the athletes, riders will get when they finish their rides and win their heats and everything along those lines. And the cool thing about this trophy was designed right here in Rock Hill. So Rock Hill City officials designed this trophy. It has its own Rock Hill spin on it. So we really like that.
It really is so cool. The riders, this is what they're gunning for. I mean, they want to come home with these. So these competitors are here to win it, and it is so exciting. And again, we want to remind folks, especially in York County, that if you come out on Saturday, which is the day the Olympians are going to be here, it's free to all York County residents.
Absolutely. James, what's it like to hold the trophy?
It's actually not that heavy. So I would love to take it out and put it on one of my shelves back home. But
yeah, no kidding. All right, let's all put our hands on it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. What a fantastic newscast from out here at the BMX track. We're so excited to show you all the ins and outs and some of the behind the scenes that you normally might not get to see this week, but definitely come out if you get a chance to see. This is a really once in a lifetime opportunity.
There is so much to see, to enjoy. Has it been fun to cover?
Absolutely. It's been action-packed, and the week's just getting started.
It's true. Well, we hope everyone enjoyed our special coverage out here from the BMX event. Again, the world is watching, and we are so happy to be hosting.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good night.